Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today we're talking about 2014's The Purge Anarchy, which was directed by James DeMonaco. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Eric.
And I just realized James DeMonaco, he also did the original Purge. Okay.
This is totally different. This is like going from Mad Max to Road Warrior. It's totally a different film.
Yeah, I just was surprised. I didn't realize it was the same writer director.
It's in his universe still, which is good.
Oh, and he did the next one too. Damn, okay.
We're gonna do the next. We're gonna do all the purges. We have to.
Yeah, I've never seen any of them aside from the original one, so this is new for me. Is this your first time too?
This is my first time watching this one. Can I ask you though, like generally, do you like the Purge? Do you like the Purge movies?
I do, but I think what I'm realizing is these movies are kind of just other movies with the purge happening. And I can explain what I mean by that. And maybe it'll change as we progress throughout the series. But the first one was just a home invasion movie that had the purge going on. This one is basically just Escape from New York with the purge going on.
It's like we're in a house in one movie, and now we're in the streets of LA.
And I like it. I like it.
It's not the rinse and repeats sequel. It's not another rich family. So that was a good way to do it. And that's honestly after leaving the purge, is like shit, I want to go to like Chicago or Detroit and see how that's going down.
Well, yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, I wonder what the purge would be like in like Texas. But I mean, LA was a good choice because my God, downtown LA, getting stuck in downtown LA during the purge, I genuinely can't think of a worse place in America. And we'll get into the movie, but there's that one shot in the beginning on the bridge with that couple when their car, they realize their gas has been cut or whatever.
Oh my God, idiots.
I've been on that bridge. It's never that not congested by cars. There's always traffic.
Well, Purge Night, this couple is totally idiotic to be out. If the purge is happening and I need to hunker in, a day before, at the very least, I am all buttoned up. I am not leaving the house a day before.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. But yeah, that bridge in LA where that couple's on, I have been on that bridge.
The only reason there's not traffic is because most common people are not driving around moments before the purge starts.
Yeah, so the couple on the bridge, that area is scary. So if you do get stuck there, I can't imagine a worse place in LA. Anyways, back to where you were saying. So, yeah, everybody's an idiot in this entire world. They all know the purge is coming, and still they're like, we could stop and get milk on the way home. Like, we got time. Like, there's no sense of urgency. That I didn't like.
Yeah, it's kind of like a blizzard's coming in 4 days, and then the night before I'm gonna go to the store, or like COVID's happening. It's like I'm gonna get toilet paper and paper towels the day COVID exploded. It's like, no, you should have went like a couple days ago.
This is worse than that because, like, they know exactly when the purge is coming, and yet people are like going out to diners like 2 hours beforehand and getting dinner. And I'm like, no, especially in LA.
I'm shut down 24 hours before the purge, at least. Not leaving, not risking breaking my leg on the curb and getting stuck.
Yeah, everybody in this movie is way too chill about like, oh yeah, the purge is tonight. Oh yeah, it's tonight. Like everybody's acting like it's not this huge deal. Like it would be the equivalent of Christmas, but like the other way, like horrible feelings, basically.
Like you call into work and like, I'm working from home like 2 days before the purge, like.
It's crazy, but I did like this movie because at least in the beginning, it shows us like a poor woman who lives with her father and her daughter, and they live in like the projects. So their house is nothing like Ethan Hawke's house in the first one, and you're like, damn. How would these people protect themselves? Their doors can't do shit if somebody has a gun or an axe or anything like that. So we do get that, and that was
Yeah.
cool to see. That was a big difference in this one from the first one. And it only came out 1 year later, which is crazy.
Well, it makes you think like they were invested in this movie. They had Ethan Hawke in the first one. They knew it was a good movie. I'm sure they're like, we have a golden ticket with this film. And the film made tons of money. And I'll run through the stats real quick for this one just to get them out of the way. So this came out, like you said, a year after the Purge on July 18th, 2014. Jeez Louise, over 10 years ago. It is an hour and 44 minutes. Good timing for this kind of movie. Its budget was still low. It was 11 million, which I think it did a good job with that 11 million. And it made $112 million. Rotten Critic score 59, Rotten Audience 56. Not totally loved, but the box office is like there are people out there that are going to see this movie. We're making another one after this.
Yeah. This movie, if it was, I want to say like 15 minutes shorter, I think it would have been better. And I know exactly the part they could have cut. It was at the end when they go to that like rich auction thing when they're fighting, that whole like firefight scene. If they'd cut that down by like 10 minutes, I think this movie would have been better.
Yeah, that felt a little long.
It dragged.
It did. It did. It did. So an hour 30 would have been better.
Yeah. It's like the beginning is really strong. And then the last, like, I don't know, 20 minutes, I was like, all right, all right, all right, all right. Come on, come on.
Yeah, wrap it up. What's the reveal? What's the thing going on? And there wasn't really anything crazy at the ending, but part of me was watching this like, oh, when's Ethan Hawke gonna show up? And I remembered that he dies at the end of the first one, so I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's not showing up. And this is a year later, right? How many years after the last one? This is the exact year after, right?
I don't know actually. I know this is 2023.
I think that was the title card. So I think this is a year or two after. I think the first one was like 2021.
Hold on, I'll find out right now. So by 2022, the United States dropped to, okay. So yeah, I think it's 1 year later. This movie, The Purge Anarchy, takes place in 2023, and the first one takes place in 2022.
It's yeah, it's interesting too. We somehow see throughout the movie too the security company back in this movie a little bit with some people having all the security system in their house, which is like, huh, makes you think like people bought into that guy's security company.
Oh yeah, big time.
You see that.
Yeah, because the first one takes place in a suburb of LA. It's in the valley, so it's like it's all at least the first two are both in LA.
Let's walk through this like movie full on. So it starts off with the title card, which tells you about the purge, and it tells you the date, right?
Hmm.
And it's like lets you know this many hours until it starts, right? Or something like that. It's just like a title card.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's like it brings you into the film, so that's nice. And then it goes right into I think his name's Leo is the guy who is literally like a Jason Bourne character. We have no backstory except we learn that I guess his son was killed in a drunk driving accident, and the guy who did it was acquitted, right?
Yeah, I mean, we find out later, but yeah, he's like the Punisher, like a ripoff of the Punisher, basically.
Yeah, but like, where's his backstory? Was he an army guy? Like, what was it? I didn't pick any of that up. Like, this guy is Jason fucking Bourne.
So he's an ex-LAPD police sergeant, and because the subtitles are on the whole time, and they kept saying sergeant, they kept calling him that. So yeah, he's a
Right.
former. So I'm assuming his kid got killed. He fucking went crazy. His wife and him got divorced. Now he's living alone.
Lost his job, and now he's like, I'm gonna kill the guy that did this to my son, my whole family. And
Yeah.
that was so he's taking the purge into a personal way.
Yeah, yeah. So his MO is it makes sense to me, but then everything else that happens in this movie, I'm like, you wouldn't do any of this shit, but we'll get to that. Yeah, Frank Grillo is Leo Barnes, he is Sergeant or whatever. He's the first guy we meet. We have like three groups of protagonists. So he's the first one.
Not as much star power as Ethan Hawke. I want to say that respectively, but like this movie's definitely missing like their huge hitter. You know what I mean? Like there's some good actors in this, but like having Ethan Hawke is a draw in my mind.
Yeah, yeah, this doesn't have any huge people. I recognize a few people, but yeah, Frank Grillo, I was
Same.
like, is that Matthew McConaughey? Like there's some times where I was like, who is this guy?
He does some Marvel movies and some other shows, and I'm like, all right, like, yeah, he was good. He was good, but like, it was missing the star, and that's probably where their budget was saved was getting actors that are like on the up and not getting an Ethan Hawke, which would eat up the $11 million budget.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. The characters are kind of just like whatever, honestly. I didn't really like anybody in particular. Like the other people that we meet are this couple, that Shane and Liz, and they just are like whatever, dude. It's like a couple that's about to get divorced and like they're talking about getting divorced and then that's like it.
There's not much. There's not much except they don't get along.
Yeah, that's about it. They're literally on the brink of breaking up, and then by the end, they're like, "Never mind, we won't break up now." It's like, all right, whatever. So we meet them, and then there's the other two, Eva and Callie, which is like a mother and daughter, and like their story is kind of interesting. Like they live in the projects. Her dad is sick. All of their money's going to his medicine, and they live in this building that's been targeted by the new founding fathers to go into projects and just wipe people out, basically. And that's one of the big conspiracy theories about the Purge, this world, and what the Purge is for, is to just kill people to keep population in check.
But also poverty. Like they want to kill poor people.
Yeah, so they send in groups to go in and kill poor people, basically, or to kidnap them and stuff like that. So her father sacrifices himself. He's like, listen, I have some disease. I don't know what it is. I got something. And he's like, I'm going to go to sleep. But he actually leaves.
He gets in a limo too, which I was like, what's going on? So it caught me. I was like, what is he? Is he like involved? Is he like some powerful person? No, he was literally like for $100,000 selling himself to be executed by a group of rich people to them to let out their purge with machetes and stuff. And it was like, damn, 100,000? I'd do it for like 500, but like 100, nah, dude, up that.
I bet a lot of people do that in this world now.
Yeah. Especially older people, like in his situation too. Yeah.
Exactly. If all of their money is going to his medicine, he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to kill myself and give them $100,000.
Which is horrible if you really think about it. It's like, damn.
Yeah, it's messed up. That's what this world is. But yeah, so they're the other couple that we, or, people that we meet. So we've got like five main people. We got Frank Grillo, Eva, Shane, Liz, and Callie. They're the five that are hanging out. And Eva and Callie, they're chilling in their apartment when their landlord, this scumbag, comes in and kicks the door down and has a gun, and he's like, I'm gonna come rape you.
And he's like, Daddy needs his medicine, and like, or something like, I'm gonna give it to you. And it's like,
Yeah.
uh-oh. Like that's, I mean, that's probably what Purge Night is. It's just like rape, like more than anything. So it brought it to like, yeah, that would definitely happen.
Let's say he doesn't kill them. Let's say he just does what he wanted to do. He has to live with those people in the same building and be their landlord for the next year. So I feel like people just kill people, dude. Like, but then if he kills them, he has to find new tenants too. So it's like, I don't know. This guy must have been really fucked up because, like, why would you do this?
Yeah. And he also like met her like bringing in the groceries and was like, "You want someone to protect you? Let me know." And it was all like trying to be like kind, and it's like, no, this guy seems not kind.
Yeah, he's disgusting, and he's like licking their faces and stuff. And then somebody else kicks the door in, and it's this group from the new founding fathers, and they kill him and kidnap the two women, and they're bringing him outside when Frank Grillo pulls up, and he's just like, "Don't save them," which he would not save them if he's like, "I'm on a mission to fucking kill the guy who killed my son." He wouldn't be like, "Well, these two random ladies are getting beat up." Like, no, he wouldn't do this, but he does, and he saves them. He goes out, risks his life, and shoots all these guys.
Kills like five people, and then he shoots the big like machine gun guy,
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, right? Yeah, Big Daddy, and he shoots him, and we assume he's dead. He comes back later. And then now he's like all of a sudden like I'm gonna protect everyone. Oh, and also the couple.
Wait. I wanna talk about them first before we get to this part. So
Sure.
the couple is the dumbest characters in the movie. So they basically just hate each other, and they're driving earlier in the movie. They see this group of like masked people that are getting ready to purge, and they're waiting outside the supermarket, and they're like, "Don't worry, babe, we got time." And they're driving, and then their car randomly just stops working.
No, not randomly. Someone cut their brake fluid.
When? When did they do that?
Probably when at the grocery store. That group did with Big Daddy in them, or no, the ice cream truck people, whatever that group is.
Okay, I don't remember if we saw them. I feel like they went to the grocery store and then they're like,
We
"All right,
did we did see them drive by,
all right."
and they had masks on and stuff, and it was like, ooh, they're looking to purge tonight.
I feel like they should have cut the tires, dude. Like when they went up to scare him, they should have like one of them should have popped the tire or something. I don't know. I didn't like the cut thing, but
I mean, the car broke down right on the bridge, like soon after. So
so then they're like, "We gotta run, like we gotta run," which is exactly what you do. Like honestly, at this point, you can't call a tow truck, you can't call the police.
I am climbing in the sewer.
I'm telling I wish you know what that bridge is like and where you have no options basically. So they're going into like Skid Row essentially in downtown LA, which is just like the worst part of LA. And they're on the streets, and then you're right. So then we get back to the part we're talking about. Frank Grillo grabs Eva and Callie, and he's like, "All right, let's go to my car. I'll protect you," basically. And then Shane and Liz crawl into this car and they're like, don't worry, the door's unlocked. Like, let's get in here. And then, of course, they're like, what the fuck are you doing in my car? Like, get out of my car.
Well, here's the thing. They could have just stolen the car, but instead they go in the back seat. It was weird.
Maybe Frank had the keys with him.
But yeah, the car was off. You're right.
Maybe. I feel like he would have taken the keys if he was like, I'm going to leave my car, but who knows? So they hide in the back, and then Frank Grillo comes out. And he's like, what the fuck? Get out of my car. And they're like, no, we're sorry. We're sorry. Then Big Daddy's like, I'm not dead. He starts shooting them with the machine gun. So they're like, all right, fuck it. Get in the car. And they all drive away, which is also crazy because you don't know these people and they could literally blow your head off the second you get in the car. But whatever. So now we got our five main people all in the car driving as Big Daddy is unloading a machine gun into this car, okay? So this guy's got like the Punisher death-proof car.
It's an armored vehicle, but he has like armor piercing bullets from a minigun.
This is an ex-police officer who's divorced and living in like a studio apartment. How the fuck does he afford all of this stuff? But whatever.
That's a great question, and we're gonna let that go. We're gonna let it go.
So he's, yeah, got this insanely decked out car, and the machine gun does pierce it, and it breaks the car, and they're like, fuck. So then they're walking through the streets of downtown LA. It is madness. And this is another thing I just hated. Like, they're all going together, and Frank's just like holding the gun, watching, and the four people are walking behind them. And he's like, I need a car. And it's like, well, my friend has a car. If you get us to my friend's place, she'll give you the car. And he's like, okay, I trust you.
Well, don't you think that the Frank Grillo character, with all his skills that he has, could hotwire a car? He seems like someone who could hotwire a car, any car in LA.
Dude, downtown LA, there's going to be a 50 million cars he could hotwire on the side of the road somewhere. And yeah, for him to be like, you know what, people I just met 5 seconds ago, I trust you. Let's go to your friend's house. Let's risk it all.
So this part is probably where I'm starting to get lost. I'm like, you had me in the beginning, and now, exactly as you were saying, this was when it started off strong, like you said, and then now it's like, what the hell are we doing? Right?
Dude, because like have you seen Escape from New York?
We did that on the pod, right? No, we did. Oh, I'm thinking of Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, I've never seen Escape from New York. No.
Oh, Eric, you'd look, dude. Kurt Russell, John Carpenter, and the idea of that is Manhattan in the future is turned into a prison island for the entire country. So everybody in Manhattan is a prisoner, and they can't escape the island, basically. So they capture, like, I think, like the president or something like that, and they send in Snake Plissken, who's Kurt Russell, who has to go into this prison island and save the president and get him out of there. I feel like they should have done something like that with this, where it's like they've got like your son kidnapped or whatever, and they're gonna kill him, and it's like I gotta go in and save them. And he meets these people along the way, but the whole fucking movie is just him leading these four strangers who he just met by chance around downtown LA. And I just like didn't really care.
So it felt like that movie to you.
It felt like a way worse version of that.
Is Escape from New York technically horror, or is it just action?
It's as much horror as this movie, I feel like.
Let's put that on the wheel eventually.
Yeah, yeah. But this movie just feels like a less justified version because the other thing is, Eric, this guy would the guy at the end who killed his son lives in the suburbs. He doesn't live in downtown LA. He doesn't live anywhere near there. Why is this guy going down there? Why doesn't he just go straight to that guy's house and not like, I'm gonna go into the city and, potentially risk all this shit? Wait, actually, no, I know why. He was going up the highway and then he saw there's a shit ton of people on the highway and he turned around. Never mind. Okay. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, he was on his way, had to move. But still, he has a mission, and now his mission has been completely changed.
It's totally changed, and now he's completely blindly trusting this woman he just met and going to the stranger's house and hoping that she'll give his car to a complete stranger. It's just, it's too much. So that's what we're doing right now. And the next scene we get to is this random woman with a machine gun just shooting up into the sky, being like, capitalism is bullshit.
Yeah, she was on the bridge and like with a megaphone and freaking out, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like he was so okay. I'm in the thick of it. Like
Yeah.
I could get killed at any moment. So could any other character. So yeah, he's taking out people though. Like literally, it's a little like okay, this guy's a sergeant in LAPD, but like he might as well be Jason Bourne. Like where I want to know his backstory more.
Yeah, he's like special ops.
This guy shouldn't be in a studio apartment. Is my attitude. You know what I mean?
And he seems like a hitman. It's insane. So they get past this woman, which if they cut that scene, that would have also helped, because it was completely useless. So they sneak past her, And then they get into this big firefight in this like a sewer, I guess, or whatever, where you see a bunch of the bike guys chasing them, and they're chasing a bunch of people. And then for some reason, Shane, the couple, he's like, "Babe, give me the gun. Like, I'll take care of these guys." And it's like, why? Just run with the rest of your people. But he's like, whatever. So he stands by, starts shooting. He's like, also, you shoot too. So they're all shooting at these bikes and everything coming. He gets shot. She's like, baby, no. And he's like, don't worry, babe. Like, I got this. And he gets up and he keeps shooting. And of course, like, everybody dies. They kill everybody. It all
And
blows up.
like dune buggies and like flamethrowers are everywhere in the sewer. I mean, are LA sewers? Can you drive through them? I don't think so.
I've never checked.
Next time you're in the sewer, just let me know.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of homeless thing going on where like these people in dune buggies are just killing the homeless down in the sewer, which is it's sad to think about. Like these guys are just hiding out. They have nothing. Like, why are we just killing them? But like, I guess that's the point of this movie. It's like the purge is part of killing poor people, and it's very messed up when you look at it like that.
I mean, I want to see the purge in like, I'm just using your neighborhood as an example, but like your neighborhood is a nice neighborhood, but it's not a neighborhood that people could afford like security systems like the purge ones.
Oh, I'm a town away from Bridgeport. It's like I wouldn't want to be here during the purge.
That's the thing. Like, where do you like? Because your situation is much more common.
Oh, and Andrew Tomorrow's house.
Yeah, but I mean, like, where does the average person go, though? Who just lives in a very normal suburb, like they're the people that I'm thinking about, not the LA or the rich people. I just want the regular middle of the road suburb. I want to see what that is like. People, the interpersonal, like, you fucking cut my tree down, I'm gonna shoot you, like that stuff.
I wonder if that's part of election year because right now we went from Ethan Hawke being super like elite rich neighborhood to now we're in the poverty section of LA. Maybe find the middle class more. That would be a good purge, and maybe that's election year. I don't know.
Yeah, there's two more after this and a TV series, so we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So then, after the couple gets shot, they all just meet up again. The five main characters, like, what happened? He's like, he got shot, but we took out a bunch of people. And they're like, okay, he's a hero. He's a hero, and we love him now. And they're all walking together.
The divorced wife that's like, have my babies and stuff.
Yeah, she's like, I forgive everything now because you've gotten shot. And he's like, thanks, babe. I knew it. And then all of a sudden, he gets murdered, like, immediately.
No, that's later. That's way later.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
But yeah, he gets murdered by like 18 bullets.
Yeah. So I can't really remember what happens after the sewer scene, though.
So they go right to I guess her friend or sister's house,
Yep. 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 They go to the friend. Yep.
and it's literally more of a middle class family where they're all drinking and like let's put on some music to like make the mood better. And we learn that first of all she gets everyone in the house and then she tells Frank Grillo there is no car, and he's like livid. And then all of a sudden, right before that scene, the sister-in-law of the person that owns the house is like making moves on the husband of her, and like she comes out of nowhere and just murders the sister-in-law.
Well, they were having an affair.
Yeah, we find that out. It's like really like right at this moment we're doing this, like right when everyone is in the house, and Frank Grillo's like, God damn, my night is not going well.
Yeah, you would have thought that she would have done it like right at the beginning of the purge or like right as it was about to end, not like in the middle, right when all this company gets there. She's like, all right, now's a good time. So yeah, so she shoots the guy. Everybody's like a big shootout basically, but everybody survives aside from, the people that they were visiting. And they get a car, right?
Yeah.
They get kidnapped though, but do they get a car?
They leave, and the second they leave, the ice cream truck people grab them.
Yeah, so they get kidnapped and brought to. They're like, "Why are you doing this? You're gonna kill us!" And they're like, "No, we're not gonna kill you. We're delivering you to these rich people. They're gonna have an auction with you or whatever."
Why is the ice cream truck people following them? I guess we kind of know the answer. Like Big Daddy too is a part of it. We learn that later.
Well, I think, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Big Daddy is a part of that new founding fathers, which are going into targeted projects and killing people. And then the ice cream truck people go and pick up the scraps.
It's all connected, and that's why they're targeting these people because they already know too much. I feel like. And it's like we have to get these people because last thing we need is more people online talking about how we're doing this stuff.
Says that's the thing. Eva and Callie, I understand why they're part of this movie. I don't get why Shane or whatever and the other girl are. Like they were just regular people.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I don't know, why didn't they just hide out in the house still?
Dude, they had a good opportunity to have like a Terminator 2 like movie with like, he's the Terminator, the girl's John Connor, and the mom is like Sarah Connor. Like they had that. And then they're like, yeah, let's just add this random couple that hates each other too. Like, I don't know.
You're right. You're right. The couple is probably the most non-essential characters.
Yeah, like develop the mother-daughter more and find more about Frank Grillo and don't like spread it out amongst this couple that's just like we were about to get divorced, but then Shane got shot and I realized I loved him.
Yeah, we could have brought in more about them losing their dad or grandfather,
Yeah.
the same people, and like that would have thickened the plot more. Instead, we have this other random couple that's just ruining everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I think they're completely unnecessary, but I don't know. So that I mean maybe it's to be relatable, so it's like couples that go and see it, they're like, that's like us. And then like families that go to see it, they're like, that's like us.
There's way more characters in this in the first one, and way more families in this. In the first one was one family, a couple like neighbors, and that was it.
Yeah, so maybe they're just trying to be like, here's other dynamics of what the purge is like for couples and for families and for lone gunmen shooters. Like, I don't know. So they get kidnapped. They're at this big cult, or not cult. I mean, I guess they're a cult. I don't know. But the rich people that are like, hey, we're going to auction off and murder people. And this is the last bid of the night. It's like $200,000 or something crazy. And you get to kill people. So a couple people raise their things. They're like, we're going to do it. So they go to this like field basically that's like indoors where they get to go kill the people they just paid for.
It's like the gulag.
Yeah, it is. It's like Modern Warfare Gulag, that thing kind of. So they're running around fighting, and then Frank Grillo's like, I'm a fucking trained, super badass guy, and I just get a gun and kill everybody. And yeah, so he does. He kills everybody and frees all of his five people, and then the couple gets killed. And it's like, yeah, or the guy gets killed. It's like, that's my guy.
Yeah, he's like sitting against the wall. He's like, hey, like I think we should go to Maui next, and he's just riddled with bullets.
Yeah, and she's like, no. So then after that, here's some guy we didn't really talk about too much, but throughout the movie, there's this.
Yes, online presence, but he's against the founding fathers, and he's like anti-purge, and he's like, we don't kill.
Well, he's not anti-killing.
Oh, he's not anti. He's killing the founding fathers, but he's anti-purge, and he says, and his thing is that people, it's a way to kill poor people.
So he's the leader of an anti-purge group, and his name is Carmelo Johns.
But he's going after the founding fathers. Yes.
Yeah, so they come in as like this ex machina last minute.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Yeah, so they come in, they save the day, and Frank Grillo's like, all right, well, I still got to go kill this guy who killed my kid. So you guys want to come with me? And they're like, yeah, let's go. And then the one girl who's like, my boyfriend's dead or my husband or whatever, it's like, do you want to stay here? It's like, I'm going to purge. So she stays behind with these guys and they just go out and shoot a bunch of rich people. And then another long drawn out scene of like Frank Grillo and Eva and Callie driving to this house. And he's like, I got 30 minutes to fucking kill this guy.
And the daughter's trying to talk him out of it. Like, don't do it. It's like you can't just go around killing people. Very Terminator.
And it's like, you're fucking 15. You don't even know what I'm talking about. My son was killed and whatever. So they get to this house and I love it too. He's just like, yeah, 2 weeks ago, I snuck over here and I disabled the back door of his purge door. And it's like, you don't think in those 2 weeks he would have had like a system check to make sure, like, be like, hey, just want to make sure the purge doors are working. I got a system diagnostics going.
And yeah, why wasn't this guy just like right out there? The horns blare. He's just there, done, and then he goes home to purge night.
Yeah, that's what the movie should have been.
Like, why does he go like he's like in the thick of the purge? Like when the highways are probably shut down, I'm gonna go out then. It's like, no, just go out there, kill, and then hang out in his house because there's no one gonna be there.
Yeah, it's really dumb. And I just also think it's dumb that he went 2 weeks earlier and messed with the guy's purge system.
Yeah, and the guy would probably be like, "Oh, something's wrong with our security system. We should call the people." And it's like, when are they going to be here? Look, they said within 48 hours, like an 8 to 5 window, but we still have 2 weeks.
Exactly. So I also don't believe that a system that's this reliant would not like notify you if something was wrong. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm an idiot.
Again, why is this guy living in a studio apartment if he knows how to do that? No, it's just like doesn't add up.
No. So he sneaks in, he goes to the couple, they're sleeping, and you're like, oh my God, I bet he's gonna do it. And I think we hear a gunshot, and then he comes outside, and then he gets shot. And you're like, what?
Who's shooting him now? Is it the girl in the car? Like, what is it?
It's Big Daddy.
He's been there the whole time following him.
And I don't know, do you know who John Boehner is?
No.
All right. He was a Republican. He stepped down a couple years ago. But look him up, dude. That John Boehner looks exactly like Big Daddy. I was like, is John Boehner acting right now?
More like John Big Daddy, right?
John Big Daddy Boehner. But yeah, he's just like, we kill poor people, because the purge, not enough people are purging, so we got to kill people. So you're like, oh, okay.
He gets shot twice, right? At least.
Frank gets shot in the chest, yeah, like a bunch. And you're like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah, that's not like exit wound style too. Like he's done.
Yeah, you assume. And then Big Daddy's like, I'm gonna kill you now. So he goes up and then a bullet comes through Big Daddy's head, and you're like, what? Who did this?
I know. Everyone knew. Everyone knew.
And then the guy who killed his son is not dead. He let him live. And he's like, whoa, I'm gonna save this guy.
An eye for an eye, but like saved my life, killed my son, but like, okay, we're even now. It's like, oh, this is gross, gross.
Yeah, so then Eva, Callie, and Frank get into an ambulance, which is, oh no, not an ambulance, they just get into a car.
No, they get in the same car they were in, and they go to the hospital. They get him in the hospital, and then all of a sudden, title card comes up again, and it's like next year's purge.
That guy's not getting into the hospital for like 4 days.
Also, I love that the ER was like empty too. Not the ER, but like the area where you can drop people off. It's like that area must be like just riddled with people parking and stuff.
Oh yeah, in LA. Here's the other thing. We talked about this in the last one, but I'm sorry. I don't believe that the hospitals, there's going to be people that were hurt before the purge that are in the hospital currently, and then what do they do?
If you're a nurse getting paid $25 an hour or whatever, you're calling out the day after the purge.
I'm not even talking about the day after the purge. I'm talking about the day of the purge, okay? There are people in the hospital, okay? Then the sirens go off. What happens to all those people that are in the hospital that are sick in bed? What happens to the staff that has to make sure that they're kept alive? The surgeons, all that. What's going on with that? I want to know what's going on with that.
I don't know. That's a great.
They better answer it. They got 2 more movies.
What about airplanes? What's up with the flights?
I'm sure the flights are.
But like different countries and stuff coming in, like you never know. Time zones.
We don't. Well, no one's flying into America during the purge.
You think, but that'd be an interesting thing.
You'd have to be the dumbest person alive if you're like, I'm gonna fly into America.
Well, maybe you have to because someone's sick or
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I don't know.
you try to take a private jet in there, something like that, and all hell breaks loose.
They got some answers. They got some answers in the next one. So I think the most recent one takes place in like 2049, and it is like full Mad Max. So we'll see.
And is that election year?
No, that's the Forever Purge.
Purge Forever. Okay.
Or yeah, whatever. It came out like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, not a bad movie. Just kind of, I don't know. I feel like they could have changed a few things that would have made it a lot better, but it's still not bad.
Yeah, just a lot of disbelief. It's like, okay, I'm here for the ride, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't believe any of this, you know?
Yeah, and you got to give them credit for doing something different.
Yeah, and I guess the Mad Max thing came to me like with one with Frank Grillo, two with his car, three with like the dune buggies in the sewer. So like that was like it's totally different than the first one, which I appreciate because nothing's worse than going to see the same film again as a sequel.
Yeah, it would suck if it was just another rich couple. Like that would suck. So I'm glad they did it. And it also kind of explains those freaks from the first one that are like chasing this guy. Like maybe they were part of the suburban group that captures people to bring back for these auctions. So it kind of connected a little.
That in the security system that the drunk driver had. He had the
Yeah.
security system. You saw it like his door go up. It's like, oh shit. So he had the money to do that and stuff. So he probably had the money to get acquitted or whatever, or like figure out lawyers. I don't know. So it makes you think like it's all about money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. All right. Well, we'll continue the Purge franchise. There's only a couple left, so we'll keep doing it. But yeah, Eric, what do you say you spin the wheel?
We shall. Hold on one second. Spinning. Oh boy, I love this film. The Prophecy.
All right. We definitely have a guest for this. I can't remember if they're who they are, but we have a guest for this.
Cool. Is this our first one we've done this wheel without a guest? No, we've done Bird Box.
No, we've done a bunch, just you and I. You know, Chucky, and yeah, we've done a few.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on Purge Anarchy, and we will see you next week with The Prophecy.
Woo!